NCRP Productions presents Dishonored with Michael running, Ty, Pedro, Sequoia, and myself playing. On with the show.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and past, present, or future, wherever and whenever you are. Welcome to another session of Dishonored, the Oil Trail. I am Michael. I am your GM for this evening. And let's have everyone introduce themselves. Starting with Barry tonight.
So I'm Barry. I'm playing Desmond Aquila. I am the group's explorer.
All right. And I am Ty. I'm running Angus Fowlin, our group's miscreant.
I am Sequoia, and I'm running Finney Talbot, our courier.
I am Pedro, and I'm running Norton Smith, the group's inventor. I got it right that time.
There you did. That was good.
Indeed.
Last week, not so good.
No,
but...
Yeah, I actually forgot to say my character's name last week.
Did you really?
Yeah, I
Okay, I'm not the only one.
did. I realized it after I introduced myself. I'm like, I didn't say my name, but I'm not gonna stop this. And now I'm gonna stop it.
It's okay. To be fair, we had a little bit. It had been a rough week that week, so we're all forgetting a few little things here and there. But here we are this week. Another long week, but that's just the state of the world is, unfortunately, and stuff like that. But yeah, last week was a rather explosive. Well, not explosive, and like the boom said.
Well, not in the normal Leviathan oil sense, right?
No, we're not that cool.
All right, that's the joke for the evening.
Well, I was hopeful Norton did pull a grenade out, but it wasn't the right one.
Well, it was
just a
supposed to be a
smoke
just
grenade.
in case if we needed to escape.
The smoke was?
Yes.
Okay, I was hoping for one. It was a little bit a Leviathan bomb.
No, my next one. Now I'm gonna
the other just in case.
Now that I know how our plans are gonna go, I'm gonna plan accordingly.
Gotcha. And
You're
how many
gonna
smoke
plan
bombs do
for
you
the
still
fact that we
I
don't
left?
have one
plan?
left.
One
I was
smoke bomb
I was able to make two.
Great
All right,
point,
all
Ty.
right. So, anyone raising anything or changing anything on the characters?
Yeah, I am going to be bumping up my boldly style
To what now?
from a 5 to a 6.
Excellent.
Is 6 is the maximum? Oh,
No,
8's the maximum.
8's the max.
That's awesome. All right. Anyone else?
I'm going to hang on to mine for now.
All right, sounds like a deal.
Nope, I'm all set.
All right, Michael.
So, back to it. So, last week there was the ambush of the granary wagon, for lack of a better term. Turns out there were some details that might have gotten muddled within the.
Yeah. When we talked
the
about
plan.
the 4-horse carriage, I was thinking it was a 4-horse carriage, not a 4-horsepower carriage. There was a horseless carriage. So, yeah, there were some difficulties.
There were some difficulties, and a few extra things. And there was the your
great.
contact pulled out for you. Good stuff. Unfortunately, there was a guard death, so that was not quite as planned as far as that was all concerned.
No, not what we wanted. Definitely, there was planned at no deaths.
I'd be happy if only one of those guards died.
Actually, we're uncertain.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the
One.
two that I knocked out would probably
Yeah.
survive.
Well,
One
let's
known guard
see
death.
how many chaos I get from all the deaths. No witnesses as I just dump this entire bucket.
As I said, it could have been a black op.
All right, but you guys had managed to get on there, get there along with some balustrators. Lost some of the grain along the way. You haven't
Right.
really gotten a chance to see how much you actually did lose, but you managed to get past your first checkpoint. Well, the checkpoint easily enough, and now you're on your way to the sewer entrance where you will be.
Splitting up.
Splitting up. Some of the grain's going to be going into Finney's
Carriage?
carriage. Some are going to be lowered into the sewers, where below there are some hatters with a cart to drag that through the sewers to get to Marika on the other side, as far as that's concerned. But now you got some balustrators, and there was a promise of getting at least a cut of the grain.
Exactly. No,
Which,
definitely.
luckily, some of the stuff that Eldwin's at least going on with the fact that it's like, yeah, we'll take some of the ones that got left behind, assuming we can get it. But there'll still be a little bit of that cut that needs to get taken care of as you guys make your separations.
Okay. And we're there.
All right.
We can start right into it.
Yep, we'll start right into it. So you're there.
Norton, go ahead and get the back open.
I'll go open it up and
Eldon, you going to join us? Do a count.
hope that it's not as bad as I think it might be.
That's a very good question. Let me take a look at something real fast.
And when we're talking about grain sacks, I'm assuming grain sacks basically 100-pound or 50-pound, good size, one to a man, two to a man max type. Okay.
Yep, exactly. They're big stuff like that, wall to wall sort of things. It's several tons were being carried in this particular.
Don't forget to grab a void point back.
Yep, and it's a new session, new void point.
Our pool is at 1 momentum right now, and your chaos is at
a shit ton.
right, well, haven't hit the metric point yet, but
it's still 13.
13. All right, good. We kind of evened out last time. That's rather than going up. I think that's a great thing. Wow. So we, while he's looking up how much grain is in there, we do have to make a decision on what we're doing with this vehicle. If we leave it here, which was part of the thing I was thinking about before, if we just leave it here, we're potentially setting ourselves up.
I mean, the safest way would be to drive it into the river. Or we could try and scalp it, but I don't know how likely that is.
I'll drop in the character. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I don't think scalping is a good idea. Anyone know how deep the water is at this point?
It's about 17.5 feet.
Perfect. That should sink far enough. That's an odd thing for you to know there, Penny.
I'm amazed you're using the imperial system rather than the metric.
Well, I mean, the majority of us are
3
Morleans.
and some change meters.
But no, the Morleans still use feet. Apparently, the rest of the world doesn't.
The proper way.
There we go.
Weird.
What are you saying? Metric? I don't know what that is.
So, actually, on the serious side, though, I mean, Michael, how close is the river, the ocean, the bay? I actually don't know what we're up against.
Let's take a
river?
look where
The
you
river's
guys
probably closest, I would say.
Yeah, the river's closer. You're still pretty much you're still somewhat in the distillery district. So there's still lots of buildings and stuff around.
And would my character know how far it is to the river?
Sorry.
To drive it off into?
This map doesn't do a good job showing the rivers.
I've got an idea.
Uh-huh.
So, you guys are doing your honorable rebellion.
Yeah, that's what it is.
This grain is not coming from the city, but it is going to a city storage place, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
This could be a what?
A message. A little fire, a little public spaces, missing grain.
My ears perk up and I get a little bit of a smile.
I'm not sure that much heat brought down this early is going to be good, but we could redirect it. Blow back on the bottle streeters could be really bad. And hopefully Eldon's not listening to us right now. That's at this point I don't want to burn them.
So they're probably a little more concerned about figuring out what portion of the grain they're going to be taking out of this.
Sorry, Eldon, we're waiting just a moment. We're trying to get the key, Norton, and what's inside.
So the key. So you open it up, and you look in there. You're like, oh, you remember? Sorry, Norton. Because you were the one who actually opened, you saw it top to bottom, stuff like that. You think it's at best, only about a quarter of it got lost.
Oh, okay.
Well, that's great.
That's still not
Even
bad.
that,
Yeah.
half or more sounds good.
Yeah.
So it's still a good amount. But,
Big sigh of relief.
Yeah.
Excellent. I'll stay out. We only lost maybe a quarter.
That's good. That's good. That's good.
No.
Frog in my throat again. So, Eldon, how is your group going to be able to take it back? Do you need our help bringing it to a point?
He was looking at it I was hoping with the boys we were able to just, depending on how quick that little escapade went, we were just going to grab it.
Do you guys want to use this carriage?
Actually, that's true. You guys take the carriage.
Yeah, we'll do that.
You
Very
can
good.
take it. Have it as a gift.
All
So,
right.
Eldon, our crew is going to come up now to take their portion and only their portion, overseen by you and I. But it is the group that we discussed. It's a group of Hatter toughs.
I know.
Okay, very good. Your boys are good. You're actually, it's one.
Yep.
Your boy is good with this.
He's the only one that knows.
Very good. Angus, go get your men. Let's go.
They're down there.
Yeah. Get them up.
So I'll help start loading stuff into Finney's carriage.
Yep.
All right. So people come up. While Eldon and his bottle streeter is rather prepared for this, the Hatters are not. They're a little startled. There's actually a few moments where they're like, "Whoa!" Oh.
Gentlemen, you have a job to do.
And there goes.
No idea
the
what that
computer.
was.
That was the protest of the Hatters infecting the computer.
Keep them moving. Keep them moving.
Yeah.
Come on.
You guys are gonna have to do a talk roll here.
They're your guys,
if
Angus.
you're going, since you're just trying to make this browbeat them, I'm gonna go with a talk boldly.
I would like to
Hey.
Assist.
I would like to assist, and this is why. I kind of just tend to gravitate towards Angus. Mostly.
And that whale song always.
Oh,
whenever
yeah.
you guys are near. In fact, in that carriage, it was pretty strong. I just
Oh,
forgot
yeah.
to mention it in all the rest of the chaos.
Angus is slowly losing his mind to this whale song.
So I'd like to, kind of sidle up beside him, just
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
hear what's going on,
Yeah.
and then can I if he needs an assist, or do I have to decide right now?
Yeah, you're gonna have to decide whether you're gonna assist him.
Yeah,
now.
I'm gonna assist.
Just
Cross your arms and look tough.
so you're gonna do a.
Tough. Yes. Urgh.
The third hand just comes up and flex. That'll scare him.
Just like stroke my chin, the witch hand. Yeah. Okay. So I roll now.
Yeah. So how are you going to assist him? He's talking boldly, which is basically browbeating them into this. How do you want to do it? You can also do a talk. You might do it a different way.
I want to talk cleverly and use my negotiate.
Okay. Sounds good. Let's
Okay.
do that. You only roll one die when you're assisting.
You use your skill and your style, but only one die.
I don't know if that makes any sense. Well, we'll bring it up here in a second.
That's a success at least. Wow.
I've got 2. Now,
So 3 successes total here. So I'm gonna add one to the men's pool.
so I do have the focus intimidate. But I don't necessarily think that this is that, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah.
I think this is more of a
Well,
leadership
it depends. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is probably more of leadership. If you're not trying to you're going, hey, you know that. You're not going that way. You're just
Okay.
like, hey, we don't have time for this. Just do the job. So it's
Yeah, come on, guys. We took on the dead eels. Moving a couple of sacks of grain ain't gonna be much. People need this food.
Yeah. Then that, along with what does Finney say to add to that in order to assuage them of the situation.
Each of you knows exactly how bare the cupboards have been. If you can't do it for yourself, do it for Marika and the food that she prepares for you and for the children of your families.
That combined with both of those, that they're still uneasy about the fact that there's at least 2 bottle streeters here, but they're with the trust that you guys have built, and especially with that caveat on there, they go for it. They start taking their parts that they're going to be able to carry. Some start loading what's going to be into Finney's carriage into that one. But eventually, when it comes down to it, there's a remaining about a quarter left. That's the point where Eldon goes, with what got spilled left behind. That's what we're wanting to take for the rest of our share.
I'm good with it. And I will step in and shut the door.
Okay. Cool.
Norton, you got the keys?
I'll go ahead and hand them on over to Eldon.
And he takes it, and him and his partner look at each other. They nod, and they Eldon gets onto the side of it. His guy gets in there. Engine starts up. will pop, the smell of whale oil burning, and it
For
goes
me,
off.
2 fingers to the forehead, wave right to Eldon, nod my head.
He does the he reciprocates the gesture, and off they go. Now it's just you guys,
Gentlemen, first caper done. Like I said, couldn't go wrong. Perfect.
We aren't finished yet.
Still a good plan.
So, are you gonna go with your militia?
Angus has got to direct him, without a doubt.
So you head there. Finny, you'll take your carriage, and then we have the cart. You want me to take the cart, and you go with Finny?
I do not have room.
No, it's going to be the 2 of us with the cart.
Sounds good.
And the cart is going to go through the streets. So I'm hoping we're not taking a whole ton of grain. I'm thinking 4 to 6 bags at most.
Now this is where I might be confused.
Yeah.
Because
I'm incredibly confused.
Because I thought the cart was under the sewers, which is where all the balustrators
And I
We
kind
have-
of
the
too,
hatters
but I
are.
was going with it.
I remember. We have mine. We have 2 from Marika. One of which is in the sewer. One of which is up on the surface.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, so does that mean that Norton and I are going to be going through the second checkpoint then?
There is another way that you don't have to go through the checkpoint. It's
Yeah.
just, luckily you have some good rapport with the balustrators right now, so I don't think you're going to have too much trouble going through that route.
I say we just
All right.
avoid.
So the 2 of us are going one. Angus and his men are on underground. Finny's got the other carriage, and we're off.
Yeah.
Which is good. It's a good thing you also split up because there was no way you were going to be able to, like, even with the carts and stuff that you guys had, there was no way you were going to be able to move half, maybe even in at least one of those.
Do you have an idea how many sacks of grains we've got?
It's
I mean, I'm just curious for visualization.
okay.
So, if we have about 1.5 tons, you said?
About 2 tons.
And so
It was 2 tons in total.
So we have a ton.
Let's call them 100-pound sacks. That's 40 sacks.
Well, there may be more than that. I was thinking. I was thinking it was more like 200 sacks was what was in the thing.
Oh, it was a good shipment.
Yep. So
we're
So
moving
200
around.
sacks in
200
total. Like
sacks.
we lost.
We lost
what,
half.
50?
we
The
lost.
bottles,
You
Street
lost.
Boys.
You lost like a quarter. You lost a quarter on the way, but you lost
we have
half.
about
So
So
you have
I'm-
100.
We have
I'm gonna-
150.
Yeah, for reality, at some level, it's a fantasy game, but for some level of reality, the 50-pound sacks then.
Yeah.
200 sacks would be 10,000 pounds is 5 tons in a vehicle. So, all right.
Well, distributed among 3 vehicles.
Well, no. I'm talking about the initial vehicle. The initial
Yeah.
vehicle had to carry all of it.
Well,
so,
it's well oil. Is the future, Barry?
Right. I get it.
This is the future.
This whale oil industry is the future.
All right. So if we have
With our whale oil microphones and our whale oil laptops.
so again, you were thinking 200 sacks. If we have 100 and the 2 of us are carrying 6, if we have 6 of them, maybe we have 10. That would mean that we're looking at somewhere in the range of about how many in your vehicle? 60, and then 40 you guys are dragging through the sewer.
Yeah?
Yeah.
So 2 tons of grain is going through the sewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
no, wait, am I doing that right?
Not 2 tons.
No.
No,
two
half
tons.
that. 1 ton.
1/3 of a ton is going in
Yeah.
the sewers.
Okay.
And then a
Because-
third is... Oh,
Yeah.
and
No. A quarter. A quarter of a ton
Math.
is going to the sewers. A quarter is with us.
half is with me.
Oh wait, no. Wait.
No.
What about the
So
bottle
hold on,
streets?
Hold on.
They
We
took
have two-
half.
Hold on. 200 sacks is what we started with. 100 sacks is what we have left.
Yeah.
Sack is 50 pounds, we said.
Yes. Okay, so we have
50
100 sacks.
100 sacks, 50 pounds. That's 2.5 tons.
No, that's fine. I forgot we had split it with the bottle street.
Right.
So
2.5 tons. If you and I have, again, it's 100 sacks. If we have 10 of those sacks, I think we're pushing it at 10. But if we have 10 of those sacks, 500 pounds in the cart, I'm not worried about the weight. I'm worried about having it in a cart, walking down the middle of the road at night. You know, somebody might say something to us. So if that's split, what do we envision is in Finney's?
we should put as much in Finny's as possible.
So like 60 in Finney's and 30 sacks for the sewer group.
whatever Finny's will fit. I mean, whatever realistically.
Finny's is not as big as the
Sure.
that particular
Is
one.
it a third as big? Because that would fit 60.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I would say in between.
Finney
like a 30.
has. I'm just thinking for logistics, so that Michael, if you want to mess with us, which I'm hoping you don't, but just in case. So there's 60 with Finney. There's 30 with Angus's group. There's 10 with Norton and I.
Okay.
All right, gang. Touch fist. Go. No. Sorry. Thumb and pinky out. 2 toes to victory. Let's go.
For Jimmy.
I do not
For
do
Jimmy.
that. Yeah, I do not do any of the toe thing.
We'll explain it later.
Yeah.
That's
Or we
okay.
won't.
It's fine. Yeah.
We'll never explain it, but you'll
Never
learn.
explain it.
Yeah, that you know,
Vamos.
keep your secrets. Thank you so much. Okay.
And then split the whale song. I guess it is an oil song if you really in a real long about rendering way. But the whale song fades away as soon as
Goodness.
I am sad.
in fact, the sounds of what rats are down there and the sounds
Hey,
of
my people.
yeah, the sounds of the rats, the dripping of the sewers and stuff is far more comforting down here than having to listen to that whale song for another moment.
Indubitably.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So for the sewers, not too difficult to go through. There's a route they had already planned through here and stuff. It's wide enough to move the cart. It's just a matter of like people pushing this thing because it is still a pretty heavy load.
Well, yeah,
getting
they've
it
got
through.
30 sacks. They're pushing 1,500 pounds.
Exactly. So it's a lot of like rotating and people pushing or people pulling and stuff like that, getting the cart in, having to work the turns down the sewer. So it's going to take a little while, but you'll get to Marika's in due time, where when you eventually get there, it's more of a gang line that's ready to start moving the sacks upwards. Finney, you're driving.
I am.
Your particular, I mean, most given the status of someone who usually has one of these, your carriage is generally, I mean, not to say that there isn't like a point where you could go through a checkpoint or anything like that, but they're not going to really check you too much, especially with you know your former lifestyle before you got here. I don't know how much of those particular symbols or anything might be like on your carriage or anything like that, but it at least will. Generally, with these particular things, it's like, okay, probably some aristocrat owns one of these things or something like that. So
I think that if they knew about high society, they would probably know at least vaguely who I am, who I come from, and where I came from.
Exactly, and that's and then generally it's like so if you do go through a checkpoint, it's barely even a sort of thing. It's like, okay, yeah, no, move along, you're fine. They're not gonna think.
I mean, I maybe even have it like a ring with the Talbot seal on it.
Yeah, exactly. So it's they basically like wave you through.
Sheep farmer. Things we don't know.
So they don't even really check you. As soon as you show that, they're like, okay, you can go on through, and it's pretty quick and easy. For the rest of you,
The rest of us, the two of us,
the two of you, just the two.
Don't worry, I got
You
a gun,
can
we're
make
good.
it if you try.
You guys
just
have
the
a
two
tarp,
of you.
right? Someone brought a tarp.
right?
Yeah.
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 We got a tarp over the 10 sacks.
All
We're
right.
still pulling the cart.
You're still pulling the cart. It's nowhere near as heavy as the one down in the sewers. It's
Right.
still going to take a little bit to go through there. How were you planning on navigating? I'm trying to remember again.
Avoiding
I don't know
the.
that we got that far. The idea was to avoid as much as we could.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in this particular case,
If there's
I'm gonna-
if there's a way for us to utilize, no checkpoint would be best. But if there's a way for us to utilize the second checkpoint where money was the way through, I'd rather do that than a checkpoint we know nothing about.
yeah. So you can either go that way, you can avoid the checkpoint entirely, up to you and what you want to do.
Avoid the checkpoint.
Okay.
I think
Norton?
avoiding the checkpoints.
Yep.
is the
So,
best.
and you do want to make sure you don't attract attention, just because it's a little odd, especially this late at night with your kind of carts. So, I'm gonna have you guys do a move quietly, and you can help each other out.
All right. So one of us is rolling. One of us is helping.
Yes.
Okay.
And how and who?
Are
let's
you
start with the
pulling the cart
primary.
or am I?
I will pull the cart.
All right. So I will push the cart.
Okay, so
So
let's start with the
he's pulling.
primary. How are you planning to do your So you're the one that's going to at least do the move quietly.
Yep.
Barry, how are you going to help him?
I am going to move carefully.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and use one of these.
Okay. Give yourself a die.
You know what? I will also use one.
Okay.
Oh, no, I can't.
Wait, you can't.
I can't.
I was going to say, can you?
No, I can't.
Okay, so I am going to have to use at least one void point.
Did you get a 20, Barry?
No, I rolled a freaking 9 and my combo is 8. I will be using a void point.
Okay.
Okay,
So I have 2 successes.
I have 2 successes in this. Nope, nothing's going to help me, so 2 successes.
Oh,
right.
Wait. Nope, wouldn't matter.
No, don't wait.
You needed at least 2 successes on this, but you managed to get it.
So 2 more to the pool.
Yep.
Excellent.
Oh, as much as I don't want to do this to ourselves, did you sweep one out because we changed scenes?
You're right. I forgot to do
there are
that.
only 2 in the momentum
Yep.
pool right now.
Yeah, it's fine.
I'm slowly starting to remember these pieces. All right.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a good reminder for me because I have a lot of logistics to remember when running these things anyway.
Sure.
All right. So, doesn't take too long. I mean, it takes about maybe a few hours, but eventually you get there. Marika and everyone gets the cart in. Finney's thing has been unloaded.
Oh, I'm assuming that Finney is already asleep wherever Finney goes.
Exactly. Finney's probably already gone.
I'm assuming Angus is probably going up to bed, or maybe already is, because they would have gone the more direct route.
Sewers are not
I would've
necessarily
stayed up to
direct.
Wait for you guys to come.
If anything, they're in the middle of unloading the one
When we
from
show
down
up.
below, and you guys show up, and they get someone there, and it's remarkable. I mean, it may not fill up the granary, but this is going to be a huge boon to everyone going forward here. Marika is just absolutely despite her normally dour demeanor and everything, there is just speechless is the best words I can use for this one. Is just seeing all this coming together, and she there's a moment you get to catch her, she's dabbing at her eye a little bit, but keeping a good stiff upper lip. And
I'll come over to her close, within the bubble, and say, "There you go. We told you we'd come through."
Thank you.
For the people.
Thank you. This is going to go. This is a great boon to our community. Thank you.
This is just the start.
Guess I'm not getting a hug.
I'm still not the hugging type.
So, and I guess at this point, because it's Tuesday and we have to go to work tomorrow, I'm going to head up to bed.
Is Finney around?
Yeah, I imagine I arrived back.
Yep. And
I'll start walking towards him, and of course, as soon as I do, the whale song
Well,
starts to
slowly,
come.
I've got to get the whale song going.
So slow motion.
That's it. You follow me real quick.
Okay.
So I'm gonna leave where I believe out of earshot of the vast majority, except for that one creepy girl.
That's
Because she's somewhere.
she's staring down from above the rafter.
Hanging on the rafters.
And she's doing that creepy girl at the end of the hallway, but she's singing along to the whale song. It's really
You know what I keep seeing is Dobby with long black hair.
oh
Boy.
Oh, don't do the little girl dirty like that.
All right. Look, I might be losing my mind, but every time you're around, freaking whale song is playing like a record in my head.
So you do hear it too. Interesting.
Wait, you actually hear it?
Oh yes, absolutely.
Oh, sorry.
Has it happened to you before?
Yeah. We heard it a couple times. Well, I guess I heard it mostly when we were breaking out of the prison and when we were on the ship over here from Morley.
And we spoke a little bit about your upbringing and what an interesting life you've led.
Yeah, it's been a bit tricky, to say the least.
Have you met our black-eyed friend? Judging from his facial expression, that's a no.
I noticed Angus keeps looking around.
It's an odd thing because you're thinking black-eyed friend. What is that? That's not the outsider. Outsider's yellow eyes, right? Or am I confused all of a sudden? You might be confused.
I thought it was red.
We saw red. You saw red, I should say. Actually, I think I saw. Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, you saw red, but it's a thing. It's like you haven't seen. To be honest, it's like well, it all depends whether you know if the outsider has black eyes or not.
Yeah, we saw red glint or red light.
I mean, I've seen eyes. I don't think they were black.
Has he given you a gift? You don't have the mark, but you seem like you've been touched. All right, big boy pants on.
Well, the outsider?
Yes. And I'm like grinning like a freak. I am too close to you. I am kind of sweaty.
Okay.
Grinning too wide, kind of sweaty.
There's kind of like a frantic joy in my eyes.
There was an instance back in the prison, at least I may have been turned into a rat.
A rat. That is, if you were to have an animal.
Are you saying it looked like a rat?
Not you. If the outsider were to have a totem.
Okay, now you lost me.
You've spoken with him, though.
Yeah, he's not exactly the most engaging conversationalist, and he kind of freaks me out, but yeah.
Very, very, very interesting.
Okay, well.
So, the gift, you turned into an actual vermin?
Yes, I was able to navigate the prison and get the keys for us to get out.
Just the once, or more than once?
Just the once.
Have you tried since?
No, I actually...
You haven't?
No, it really it's never really come up again. And there was kind of an instance where the other guys told me that I somehow got some booze and it didn't happen. And for a little bit I was believing them, but...
They are irrelevant. I'm going to look around. Is there anyone watching us?
The creepy girl... I'm just kidding. No, there's
always watching.
There's no one else in here.
You should try right now.
Okay.
I don't think you understand quite how special this is.
I don't understand any of this, thank you very much.
You do not bear the mark, but you have the gift, and that is a once-in-a-century kind of thing. This is extremely, extremely special. Please try.
Okay. Now all I can picture is just Angus sitting there just like contorting his face. Just like...
Got a little vein.
Alright. Game Master, is there anything I can actually do to try this? I don't. Because Angus doesn't have the clue.
You don't... One, you have no clue. Two...
I sit down cross-legged there for a second, hold out my fingers. Hold on, I've seen some people do this.
It's... If anything, however long you think it actually takes, however long it actually takes for you to sit down before you get frustrated and give up, it feels like longer. It might not have taken that long, but it's just like, there's nothing. You don't feel anything. You can't, you picture rats. You think about it. You think about, like, thinking back on the words, it's like, oh yeah, wouldn't it be nice to be a rat, be able to slip through, be able to sense things with the whiskers and stuff, and remembering those moments and how vivid it was to be. But despite that, nothing happens.
This entire process, I am just, I'm barely blinking.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to work, Finny. I don't, this isn't exactly my area of expertise.
It's not anyone's.
You seem to know pretty much a lot about it.
Well, I have some peripheral knowledge, I suppose. Well, either way, even if you can't control it, that's still, it's amazing. You would be worshipped in some circles.
I could be a God.
No, there's
No.
only one God.
Did you hear that? Look, I just wanted to get the air clear.
I mean, I think you've muddied it beyond belief.
But that might be another reason why you were having issues. The whale song keeps going.
I do hear the song. You know, I've personally never seen him.
Well, I've seen him on a couple of occasions.
Multiple sightings?
Yeah, same place, but yeah.
Amazing.
Well, technically, there was a ship, and then there was the prison ceiling. Well, it technically wasn't a ceiling; it was just an open hole. But
What did he feel like?
it felt like there was something just more powerful in the air than the air almost got thick, and things went. It's almost like the world around us almost stopped.
That sounds about right. Well, I'm happy to answer some questions.
Well, I'm sure they'll pop up as we go, but for now, I'm just glad I'm not the only one constantly listening to whale song. The other two just kind of shoved me off, you know what I mean.
Well, the outsider chose you for a reason. He didn't choose them for another.
Well,
You probably shouldn't mention to many people that you did meet him. You're right to keep it quiet.
there's other things to keep quiet as well.
Hand flexes again.
So I'll put my hand over where it's around my neck. And I'm
Blood
just
orange scarf.
yes, and I'm just looking at you like oh.
Well, I'm gonna turn in, Finney.
It is that same hand gesture you did on that night when the outsider spoke to you again when you were drinking, when you met Finney for the first time. That same gesture.
It's actually nice talking to you, Finney.
That's nice to hear. Well, sleep well, friend.
All right, you're gonna need to work on that line. That was a little creepy. Not gonna lie.
Yes. What would be have a good rest?
That's better. A little bit overdone, but it's better.
I'll work on it. Thank you.
No problem. Good night, Finney.
Good evening.
Anything anyone else wants to do before the night is out?
No, I'm going to bed.
No, yeah,
Activities.
I think at this point, just going to bed.
Okay.
I mean, we got work. We got work tomorrow.
Yeah, some of us work for a living.
Ew. Yeah, I think from here, I'm probably gonna go touch base with Marika and then scamper off.
All right. Probably a pretty quick conversation, all things considering. She is just, seeing all this, like the community essentially coming together and pulling together and stuff. It's like I said, it's like some tears to her eyes, but she's keeping the stiff upper lip all the same.
I'm gonna kind of elbow her.
Yeah.
Pull yourself together. Well, if you have another job, you know how to find me.
Yes, I will keep you in mind. Thank you for all this. I don't remember if she paid you already, but she was going to pay you, I think, 100 coin. Yes.
I'd like to leave before she pays me.
Yeah. Okay.
You quietly don't remind her and head out.
Exactly.
Okay. Perfect. So you leave, because as long as she doesn't pay you, you don't have to go away. You can keep coming back to these people, especially that.
There are layers to my charity.
Layers.
Kind of like parfait.
I don't know about the parfait.
Yeah, there's no reason charity can't go both ways.
Yeah, But it is a after all the exhaustion and the excitement, it is a very restful night. Angus, though.
Oh, now what?
Your dreams are strange.
Okay.
You find yourself It's that sort of moment you sort of feel like you're in between sleeping and waking up.
Oh, I hate that.
And you're opening your eyes and you're still in, you're in your cot, but there's a strange sort of distant howling of like wind.
Okay, it's not whale song this time.
Not whale song, no, but
this is different.
You're in your room and everything like that, and you get up and but no one's in the room. All the cots are empty and everything like that. And
okay, did I miss the party?
Yeah, it's a good question. And you go forward to where it would be going down the stairs, and the stairs are going down, but suddenly you see that they start to they're rickety in wood, but then you see them like sort of like they're starting to jag and twist, and they start to sort of blend between wood and stone. And where it would be the opening to the lower levels of like the granary where the food, where Mariko says there's the food and stuff, is this what almost seems like a rocky sort of floating outcrop along gray skies, distant howling, and you see like floating islands in this sort of grayness. And then you hear a giant sound, the whale song, and suddenly
there it
floating up, and it's massive. A whale just goes swimming through this gray air, this gray landscape, as it goes floating through and just flying upwards. And its eye catches yours, and you see yourself reflected into it for just a brief moment, and you see, as it looks into you, an intelligence there, a recognition, as though seeing you, a curiosity, even though it's only fleeting. And as it floats away, as it goes by, you see standing at the edge of this precipice what seems to be a young man, hands behind his back. He's not looking at you, but he's staring out into this gray landscape, and he's just somewhat in front of you.
Hello? 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 Hello?
And that's where the worst part. You'd expect an echo, but your words get swallowed up.
Hello? Hey! You! I guess start walking towards him.
Mm-hmm. And as you start to walk, as you step down into the stairs underneath you crack and break, and you start to fall. As you fall down into it, as you look up, suddenly the young man, you're staring up as you're falling, and it almost feels like slow motion, like in molasses. Too late to be able to grab. But as you look up, suddenly that young man is staring down at you. And you see he is young. He looks maybe only to be about 17, but his features, his face, seems to have a sort of hardness, a coldness, a distanceness. But it's his eyes. Pure black eyes staring down at you. And as you feel yourself get swallowed up, as you fall downwards into this void, those eyes seem to swallow you up as well. And that's when you wake up.
Angus, what the heck?
Trying to sleep, Angus.
I'm gonna get up and move around for a bit.
All right, you realize it's still dark outside. Give the rest of us a chance.
Go have a drink. Get back to bed.
And we don't have clocks this time. I can't ask what time it is. Never mind.
Fly up the oil clock.
Yeah. It's the alarm button goes off. Click.
Yes, it's time. It's almost 12 o'clock. The first. It's 12. It's midnight. Dong. Dong.
Well, Well, there goes Big Ben again.
We can never get past the first ring. I really need to work on this.
So, I mean, I don't imagine that Angus is going to be sleeping well tonight. After that wake, that startle wake, he gets up. He probably walks. I guess there's not downstairs, but
there is a downstairs,
okay.
and it's unnerving enough as you're getting there. Luckily, there's people.
I see the stairs, and I'm like, nope, I'm just gonna go back to bed. Nope, I'm not doing this again. Oh my gosh, I'm just lay back in my cot and just kind of stare up at the ceiling. Well, I'll be here for a little bit, aren't I?
Long goes. So, while everyone's like starting to go settle to sleep and stuff, I want to go the roundabout here on right before we get into the morning, where characters' mindsets are, whether they're feeling their hopes, their dreams, or where they're going. Let's start with Finny.
Okay, so pan across the city. Finny is laying in his plush bed with his many pillows, and he's got his hand on the witch's hand around his neck, and wrapped around the wrist is a long kind of braid of black hair, and it's got like a little clump of dried scalp at one end, and it's wound around in the fingers and around the wrist, and he's just kind of stroking the braid in the hand, and he's considering everything that he's learned tonight. The grain escapade is not even on his mind. He's kind of folding over the words that Angus shared. He's thinking about the rat story. He's wondering how can he harness this touch of greatness that's occurred to Angus, and how can he maneuver it in his favor. And that's where his mind is at, is he's plotting.
Good God, and I thought the little creepy girl was the creepiest thing. There's, thank God we're not sleeping around Finny.
Is Finny the bad guy?
Are we the bad guys? Are we the baddies?
If you have to ask.
And let's go with...
So one thing that I would do is try and think back to the guards. Were any of them Morlian?
None of them were Morlian.
Okay. So then I have no remorse for those guards that were lost. The only remorse I have is the fact that anything to come back and bite us in the butt. But otherwise, that is overpowered by the joy I have, because I got to see... Because standing there and even watching the Hatters and the Bottle Street gang, even though there was tension, watching them work together brought joy to me. Seeing the joy on Marika, even though she's trying to hide, trying to keep a strong face, just seeing the joy on everybody unloading the grain and knowing what that's doing for the community. What we've done so far, even though in the grand scheme of things it's a small little drop in the ocean, it's still something that's getting us towards a better time for the Morlians. So I am sleeping well tonight. For the first time in a while, I'm not dreaming of the incident and having a nightmare. I'm actually having I would imagine, a good dream. A dream that I haven't had in a while, of a more prosperous Morlian society. Or a more prosperous society for Morlians, I should say. So I'm grateful with only a hint of hesitation, just because I know there's so much more that we have to do.
Desmond.
Well, as always, Desmond is pretty much positive about everything. I mean, the plan went exactly as planned because it succeeded, so that was the plan. We don't worry. We don't sweat the details. There are things I would have liked to have seen go better. It's frustrating that every time we plan a stealth mission, it becomes something else. But we're still working on that. But no, I think he sleeps without a care at this point. I don't. There is some concern for Eldon and his crew with that vehicle. I agreed with Finny that we should give it to them, but I'm not sure that was doing them a service. And since Eldon has come through now for me twice, the past friendship is still important to me. But I think he would sleep very comfortably, very happy. I think this is going to be a good night's sleep. The the exhaustion and the work is going to let him sleep well, and I think in the morning his positive attitude is going to bring him awake smiling.
Okay. And let's go finally with Angus. After that dream, was it a dream?
Well, at this
After the
point, of
conversations
all the
with
shenanigans I've dealt with, I'm just going to start assuming everything I think is a dream is actually real. And I'm just quite possibly losing my mind, but there appears to be someone who kind of understands why I'm losing my mind. So that does bring me a degree of comfort, despite that. Angus is kind of drawing some conclusions that kind of all this started going wrong after he killed his father. So he's like running through that scenario in his head, and like then he kind of going on about like, okay, well, I mean, he had another family. I mean, heck, I've got a half brother and half sister probably looking for my head on a pike. And he does not sleep well at all. He probably drifts off, but mostly because he just kind of lays there for about an hour, maybe even two hours, and then finally just kind of falls asleep again just from exhaustion. There's a lot going on, and I'll gladly take any sort of tired truth for the next day. But
I'm not going to worry too much about it. The next day, unless there's stuff you wish to do after work the next day. I mean, it's another day at work. Some of the hatters who we've heard around are like, giving guys pats on the back, stuff like that. Even some of the ball streeters are still like, giving them, that sort of respect from like days before and stuff like that. And some of them, like, especially you, Angus, with Tyre, they're going like, you'll punch her as you go by in their tiredness.
One thing I would like to think on in the night is there any way that I can kind of ingratiate myself to this trio of men?
That's a very good question.
Do I have any loose ends that could be steered to tying into them?
That's a good question. Well, you do know that you're going to be helping them with the weapons shipment. It's not necessarily a loose end. What were you thinking as far as potential loose ends?
I'm imagining that I have some sensitive information that I've learned, and just from my own profession, I imagine that I have some different, maybe more seedy connections. But additionally, I probably have a few ties that could go more towards like a, maybe like a noble ear, getting a meeting with someone. I'm trying to think of how can I be like, I have this gig that you guys could, help me on that could also benefit you.
Well, it comes down to perhaps needing to learn a little bit more of what they're ultimately trying to do.
Okay.
Because that might ultimately give you a better idea of like, because as far as it's like, okay, they're helping the hatters, they're helping this. Maybe there's a bigger picture, maybe they're not. But especially with Angus, especially if he's encountered the outsider.
Yeah, I definitely want to be
then
close.
There's gotta be a bigger picture.
Yeah. So as I'm, going through my day, I'm probably going to go back to their, hangout at the end when I know that they're off work.
Yeah. So they're getting out the Greaves oil.
Yeah, and this is
lighting.
ticking in the back of my head, basically, until I come up with something.
All right. Gotcha. So long day at work, taking care of the whale oil and stuff like that. You guys did notice that Greaves was actually meeting with a woman today. Very well dressed, like, fur, mink coat sort of like idea and stuff like that. And they seem to be working out some kind of arrangement because she's like, I'm not interested in the oil. You can have everything else. I'm just wishing to get to pay you a price for the ambergris.
Would I, hearing that, I mean, is it well known what the ambergris could be used for? And if not, can I see if my inventor knowledge would know?
Yeah, let's see if your inventor knowledge would know what ambergris would be used for as far as.
So, study cleverly?
Study cleverly. Let's deal with that.
Yeah, that is, engineering 3, so that's 3 successes.
Okay. Engineering wouldn't apply to this particular one.
Then that's 2 successes.
Yes. So sorry, I remember there's a scene here, but
No
actually,
problem.
I'm going to give this back because
Thank you.
I realized. So, first off, people at the table, do you know what ambergris is?
No.
Yes.
I a little bit.
Okay, ambergris is basically whale vomit.
Whale barf.
It's the reason people actually, despite the fact that it's whale vomit, it's actually used in a number of perfumes.
Okay. That's why it sounds familiar.
Yeah, so it's not hard for you to put together that, well, it's a little, you're thinking about this like, why would you do it as the ambergris? It's like, it does have a distinct scent, and you're looking at her and you're like, wait a minute, maybe it's pretty, you've heard rumors about people trying to use it for like perfume and stuff. Perhaps that's what it is, and especially with whale oil booming, it's probably going to be a lot easier to get the ambergris and stuff, so they're probably working out a deal here for it. So,
All right, perfect. I mean, as I pass you, Desmond, I would just let you know that. I mean, because I'm guessing you would notice. Hey, did you notice the lady?
It's interesting. You got to wonder what she's doing over there.
Well, sounds like she's probably wanting to buy her. She wants to buy the ambergris.
But I mean, are you thinking parity equals, or are you looking at her being nobility, someone better than?
I guess
That was my first thought.
By the look of her, I mean, I'm guessing she's probably nobly built.
now if she isn't noble, she's at least someone on the upper class.
If not a noble, a worker for a noble. Probably just a.
We need to keep it in mind if we're going to take this over that there are avenues for making additional money.
Could be a route. Or it's a route. Well, I'll get back to my work. Yeah, I mean.
Yeah, I'm not sure yet what to do with it, so I would go back to work as well.
I mean, it's more just something for the future, I feel.
But anyway, the rest of the day goes by otherwise relatively uneventful. You get out of work, whether you're going to the inn or going back to Marika, one way or another. Finney is going to meet up with you guys.
Well,
Do we have food at a set time?
I think
During like lunch times?
No, for Marika's.
Yes.
I think we need to talk to Marika in the same fashion that we've talked to the Bottle Streeter gang.
We can definitely do that.
Start.
My thought is, do we go? I'm assuming we go eat before we go drink, not because that's the best way to do it.
Well,
but
you can
because
either
we would
eat
have
at Marika's, or you can go to the sorry, I keep forgetting about the White Club Inn. Yes.
I say let's just go to Marika's, get food, talk to her.
Yep.
And then we got to figure out how to do that Bottle Street shipment.
Let's
Sounds
talk
good to
about
me.
that too, but we need to get Marika on board with a meeting with the Bottle Streeters. Streeters.
The ball streakers.
That's another.
That's the other gang on the other side of town.
It's about that time Finney shows up and she's like, oh man, like a bad habit. The whale song is the first thing that reminds you that they're there. Oh. Did you want to talk to them about something before Finney shows up?
I steered
No.
clear. I mean, unless I'm approached, I'm just
not-
watching.
To them. But
Just watching.
Yeah, she's quickly getting creepier than the little girl.
Oh, the girl still hasn't said anything.
oh gosh, she's back.
Do you ever see her eat or move?
I barely see
I saw her
blink.
levitate the other day.
Can I leave the talking to Marika to you guys, or?
Yeah, we can take care of it.
All right,
You got something to do?
I gotta talk to Finney about something.
Okay.
And there's Finney waiting.
Strange. All right.
I'm not certain myself, but yeah.
I'll
All
even
right.
have an ale waiting for you.
Let's go with let's have this Finney discussion here real fast.
So you were discussing the black eyes thing.
The black eyes, the many rings, the throat.
I had a dream last night, and it wasn't exactly the normal kind of dream.
He visited you.
You could say that. I didn't exactly sleep much last night, but basically started out. I woke up in our sleeping quarters, and everyone was gone, and we started going down the stairs, and they kept changing on me. From one point it was rickety wood, and then next thing you know it's stone, and next thing you know I'm looking out at this expanse of gray. There's, I guess, floating islands everywhere. That's the only way I can describe it. Next thing you know, a freaking whale is just flying up from below me.
Huh.
And then there's just this guy. I tried to yell at him and tried to walk towards him, but he never really caught my attention. Next thing I know, I'm falling through the stairs.
What does he look like?
He was a younger guy, but tough looking. But those eyes.
Did he say anything to you?
No, he didn't say anything. He watched me fall, but he didn't say nothing.
Interesting.
I woke up shortly after. It was, I don't know.
Did you get a sense that he wanted something from you?
As you're thinking about it, the only thing you're not sure about it being want, but as you think back as he was looking at you falling, the only thing you can think of, and it's something that almost chills you, as those eyes seem to almost swallow you whole, was that it was more that he was curious. And that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh, come on! Really?
Oh, come on!
No.
All right.
Michael.
Alrighty. I'm glad that I hope you guys had fun there. Let's go with the
Yeah. I would like a little bit more fun.
Yeah, it would have been more. Would have been just fun enough to have a Marika discussion, but that'll be next week.
Yeah. We'll start off with you guys once we get back next week. As long as I remember next week. Let's see here. So, as far as XP is concerned, I'm going to give everyone two here again. I'm actually going to give an extra one to Finney and Angus. Lots of good back and forth there.
Very sensible.
Very specifically, more the reason why I'm giving it, especially with the teamwork of getting the Hatters to be okay with getting the grain, despite the fact the bottle streeters were there. It was really good to see that sort of teamwork come together.
Cool.
Okay.
Good.
All right.
Good.
Then with that, we'll see everyone next week.
Thank you,
Next week.
Michael.
Sounds good.
Next week.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another NCRP Productions podcast. We value your support and would love to have you like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram and Twitter, and subscribe to our YouTube channel, all at NCRP Productions. You can also find our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, or wherever great podcasts are found. We value your thoughts, so please don't hesitate to leave feedback and comments. And if you want to reach any of us directly, we are available at ncrpproductions@gmail.com.